How do you ensure that your brain is able to concentrate on an activity for about 80 to 90%? This is what we are coming to look at. This is particularly interesting, especially with people who are in school. They will need a great deal of mental concentration on what they are studying so that they can make the best of grades. And it is possible. I'm happy for the fact that I have been able to coach around 3,000 students over the last 20 years that I have been in active service as a tutor in one of the secondary schools here in this country. And with this vast experience, about 20 years of professional teaching experience, I've come to realize that apart from the practical things that I do with my students, my knowledge in the study of psychology, especially courses in educational foundations such as psychology of learning and instruction, psychology of adolescence, educational psychology, and other foundation courses such as educational assessment, educational statistics, have been very helpful to me. And more so because I was able to pursue the master's degree in curriculum studies, I know how learning is done. But what we are coming to discuss is not just about how to concentrate on academic tasks. Rather, we are looking at all tasks put together, everything put together. This is Good Life School, and I want you to stay tuned for the best. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, like it and share it with people who would matter, people who would need such information so that we can help them. Shall we go? I know you know what this is. Look at it carefully. This is banana, right? Yes, you know. What about this? Tomato. You are right. That is tomato. These two fruits are going to help us in our discussion. First, let's look at what the banana does. You see, this banana is a whole piece, one whole piece put together, as you can see. And basically, when it comes to performance of tasks, this is how people go about it. They look at the task in a whole and want to begin it and finish it at a goal. So, if the person has about 2 hours or 3 hours to concentrate on a task, the person begins from here and then runs through the task up to this point. The person wants to begin and finish with the tasks. But is that how our brain has been wired? Can our brain concentrate on a task for say 2 or 3 hours, beginning from here and then traveling all the way to this point? That is not how our brains have been wired. And that is why you have realized that after about 30 minutes or 20 minutes of concentrating on an activity, you realize that your brain begins to experience what we call fatigue. It begins to wander off. The concentration begins to diminish or dwindle so much that at the end of the day, you may not be able to concentrate as you would want to. So how do you make sure that you concentrate on your daily activities and then on your academic task? And that is where this comes in. Tomato. Yes. So the principle that we are coming to look at is based on tomato, and tomato is called Pomodoro in Italian language. Yes, tomato is called Pomodoro. Pomodoro. So basically the principle that we are coming to look at is called the Pomodoro Principle. Pomodoro. This principle, for those of you who are aware, Pomodoro is simply tomato. That is the meaning. In English it is tomato, but in Italy or in Italian language it is called Pomodoro. In fact, this principle was propounded about 30 years ago by a man called Francesco Serrello. Yes, Francisco Serrello. Francisco Cerello propounded this theory. And according to him, he says that the brain is able to concentrate on any form of activity, not just academic tasks, but any form of activity for a maximum of about 30 minutes, after which the concentration begins to go down. So having realized this, how do we make sure that we are able to keep our concentration on the activity we do for as long as we want? And that is where the Pomodoro Principle comes in. Look critically. You realize that tomato have been divided. We have some divisions in the tomato. Yes. This is so essential. You see, look at the divisions. You see it? Look at it carefully. Yeah, you see the divisions. These lines, they are very, very essential when it comes to the performance of activities, or when you want to concentrate on a particular activity. Yes, that is it. So now we are not going to eat tomato to increase our concentration, neither are we going to take the banana, but rather there are certain things you need to know. According to Francisco Cerello, now let me draw my tomato. Let's assume this is my tomato. Tomato has these lines. Yes. Just as I showed you, you see, these are the lines. So according to Francisco Cerello, from the first minute of an activity to about the 30 minutes, you concentrate on the activity, whatever you are doing, okay? And after that, what you would rather do is you go for break, say 5 minutes break. Then you come back to continue for another 30 minutes. Then you take 5 minutes break. Then you do another 30 minutes, 5 minutes break, 30 minutes, 5 minutes break. In that order. Yes, so 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes. Yes. Why is this necessary? It is necessary because the brain cannot concentrate on an activity for so long. And therefore, if you begin, you break for 5 minutes, or if you have time, 10 minutes. Before you come back, by the time you return from the break, your brain will be what? Refreshed. It will be refreshed and be ready for the continuation of the tasks, of the activities that you are doing. So after that, after the break, then you come back to continue for 30 minutes, then you break for 5 minutes again, then you continue in that order. This is important if you really want to concentrate on whatever you are doing. Very, very important. In fact, this is what was wired into the timetable. The timetable that you know. In every school we have timetable. Yes. The timetable, especially here in Ghana, the basic schools, they spend, they have 30 minutes for a particular lesson or particular instructional activity. And then there should be a break of about 5 minutes, then another 30 minutes comes in that order. And that is how academic tasks have been arranged. So English, Maths, Geography, all 30 minutes in that order. When you come to the high schools in Ghana, it is 35 minutes. And then in the higher institutions of learning, the tertiary institutions, it is about 45 minutes. Some also do 1 hour. Ideally, there should be breaks in between lessons. This is what has been guiding educational operation and educational management. And it is based on this principle, the Pomodoro Principle, that after 30 minutes or after 35 or 45 minutes of engaging in a particular activity, let your brain relax. Let your brain relax. Go for break. Now somebody says, what do you do during the break time? What do you do during the break time? Well, you can go for a stroll if you want. You can drink water if you wish. You can talk to somebody. Okay? Yeah, anything at all that can take your attention from what you were concentrating on. You could do it. Yes, but it should be within the 5 minutes. Something that you can do within 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Yes. Make sure you don't wander off. You don't have to allow these activities to take your attention from what you are doing. Yes. So basically, this is it. Okay. 5 minutes break. Use it to do anything. You can even unpack your bag and then repack. Okay. Yeah. In other words, you make sure you bring out all the items in your bag and then rearrange them. It's a form of break. Okay, so anything at all that you think you can do to make sure that your brain is refreshed, that is what you do. Personally, when I am learning, I have my phone near me. After reading for some time, maybe 20-30 minutes, you see me fidgeting with my phone. And then I come back. This has been very helpful, especially during my bachelor's degree, the first degree. I practiced these Pomodoro principles, and thank God, I was successful. Plenty of A's. And for the period that I have been handling my students, the grades they have been making is A1. Every year I present about 150 students. And out of this number, 130 get A1. B2, that one, about 20 students get B2, all making 150. And I've done this for 20 years now. And I know if you should practice this, you will also be helped. If you find this very instructive enough and very educative, why don't you subscribe to this channel and let people get to know about what we have begun doing at the Good Life School. Give it a thumbs up and then stay tuned. Now, I say for 20 years running, every year I handle 150 students. Now, so 150 times 20. This can also be rewritten as 150, then I'll bring this one here, and then my 2 comes down here. So 0, 0, 0, remainder 1, 2, 1. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1, 3. Yes, I have handled 3,000 students for this period, and I'm happy to announce that I have been able to impact seriously on these students. And if you have ever sat in my lessons, you realize that my lessons are full of stories, jokes. So after teaching for a while, I bring up maybe a trending story, and then I make sure to bring every person's attention to what we are doing. Sometimes I will share a joke, or sometimes I'll talk about some real life situations, just to bring the lesson that is going on, back to life, and to make sure that not everything is in the theoretical aspect, the practical aspect. Sometimes the stories you tell the students have a great impact on how they are able to concentrate on what you are learning. Yes, so I am glad that I have come into education to help me in this direction. Thank you very much for watching.